Top story.
EndLevel, a very popular and skilled yet controversial player and creator, found himself at the centre of a major storm of hacking accusations and claims from Crazen and ToshDeluxe after screenshots emerged showing EndLevel discussing methods of hacking without being found out with former exiled hacker male Veronica. In the last few weeks, EndLevel's channel has disappeared for the fourth time in under 2 years, and this proved to be the final straw for many in terms of trust. But this soon went far deeper than anyone was expecting, as old screenshots of EndLevel confessing to hacking surfaced in a 3-minute video made by ToshDeluxe. And this was complete with a list full of speculative scandals, including an allegation that the Demons List moderators were covering up his tracks despite knowledge of his illegitimacy. Most of these exterior claims outside of the accusations have been debunked as either misrepresented or taken grossly out of context, but it still doesn't recover from the fact that this invalidates a huge, prolific GD career for EndLevel for 2.1. Everything from his verified levels like Hyperparacosm and Arctic Lights to his top 20 achievements like Erebus and Sonic Wave and Zyrokabi. It seems unlikely that we'll actually hear from EndLevel himself on the subject matter, as even before these accusations were made, he had unofficially quit and removed all his videos, claiming he didn't want to be associated with the online persona anymore. But a screenshot was circulated, which could well be faked, but appeared to leave a comment on Tosh's video, confirming that the accusations were true and that he won't be returning to GD again. He was without a doubt one of the biggest and most well-known names in the community for his achievements, levels and controversial approaches to demon slaying. If true, it's very disappointing for many who supported him, including myself, to see this come out. However, the situation hasn't been helped by the misinformation and manipulated screenshots that have been delivered in Tosh's video too. Both sides have supposedly been fairly manipulative in my opinion, and to be honest, the only losers in this situation will be us, the fans, viewers and community members. Rumour now has it that this could mean bad things for Demos, EndLevel's unnerved Phobos rebirth, as every shortlisted verifier, including the collab host, is now off the staff table, with EndLevel, Scullo, Boldstep and Crazen now all out of the running. EndLevel's other levels could stand to suffer as well now. Instinct, the third chapter in the American collab series, could potentially be derailed without EndLevel to drive it, unless someone like Mega Man or Crazy picks it up. Let's hope these levels can be recovered and that the community could go on from here without too much damage or divide, as this is an annoying yet just sad revelation for us all.
Also in the news.
One of the best creators in the history of the game, Funnygame, has posted an update on his Twitter featuring some gameplay he's been working on. Funnygame was an amazing creator who began his career in 1.2 and continued to revolutionise the game with new ideas and great building styles. In 2.0 he began to fall out of activity, quitting GD after his collab with Sapunj named The Honourable Final came out. Though many thought he quit for good, he returned to GD with a groundbreaking 6-minute level, the likes of which had never been seen before, named Lonely Travel, and after this he continued to make entertaining and enjoyable levels, but with continued speculation and uncertainty over his future. There have been a fair few scares and attempted quittings from him along the way, but the main threat to him is, plain and simply, inactivity. This was the case recently. Many had thought he'd fallen out of activity yet again, and with so many big names leaving the community recently, you'd be forgiven for expecting him to add his name to the list of outgoing veterans. However, a few days ago we were enlightened that the situation is quite the opposite. On his Twitter, Funnygame confirmed the presence in GD by announcing that he did not die, and he complemented this tweet with a preview of a level he has been working on. It looks to be yet another one of his trademark original works. The preview showed a fire and lava themed map, but with a kind of pixel art, something you might find from a platform gamer. Could this mean Funnygame is working on a platform themed level? Only time will tell, but for now we can just be happy that one of GD's most beloved creators is still among us, and we can start to look forward to what he might deliver in the future. Catalyze, the now incredibly anticipated sequel to Top 10 Extreme Demon Zafkill by Noctalium, had a delay announced by its verifier Varthox. Varthox picked up the level and was starting to make great progress, making some fantastic runs on the level, now expected to bypass such levels as Yatagarasu to make the top 5 of the Demons list. Aside from difficulty, the community has also received the level's decoration extremely well. Big names in the game have been complimenting it, and some have been comparing it to the best designed levels in the game, with some even likening it to God Eater levels of excellent decoration and gameplay in perfect harmony. This was quite surprising given how Zephyrox had a tough job on his hands building a similar level but having to find a way to give it its own unique charm, but he's done this brilliantly nonetheless. However, on YouTube a few days ago, Varthox showed his level page, with nothing to show, claiming that a save bug had caused all of his levels to be wiped. This wasn't a massive problem, as both Zephyrox and Nocta will have saved copies, but Varthox did have his own buffs and balances in place, which will now need to be restored, and overall it must be really demoralising to see this amazing fast progress lost under such a stupid glitch. Varthox said that the level was by no means cancelled, but instead he might complete number 4 rated Demon Gamma, which was updated recently by GD Technical. before he progresses on this. But then he immediately seemed to go back on this by getting a massive 74%, an absolutely astounding return and new best to the level. Whatever happens, we just need to be patient. We were already quite lucky with how fast he was making progress, so we owe it to him to just give him a break for now. Catalyze probably won't be dormant for long, so let's just sit tight and hopefully we'll see progress resumed soon. Rukkus, one of GD's most beloved DJs through the era commencing in 1.9, has announced that he will potentially be returning to making music. Rukkus was one of the earliest Newgrounds artists to go viral throughout the community when Newgrounds music support was added in 1.9, managing to become an integral part of the 9 Circles series when Zobros introduced that. After this, his music was shared, loved and adored through hundreds of levels, not least because of his capitalising on the advantage of producing music under 3 aliases, Rukkus, Nightkiller and The Realistic. His unique tracks featured some of the most raw dubstep drops of any EDM artist in the community, and his songs have been widely used on some of the most famous levels in the game. On Twitter, he announced that it may be time for him to start making music again, and this was met with resounding support. And the community is currently abuzz in anticipation. What he will create and when this return will occur is yet to be seen, but fans need nothing more than just the hope of his return to be excited. This is a great bit of news for the community from a largely exterior source. Giron, formerly known as Shuri, has been through an extremely volatile period of uncertainty over his future. While verifying Kowareta, his new extreme demon, he spoke of his desire to quit the game in a haste. During this period, Kowareta was being nerfed and buffed without a single version being decided on. Out of the blue 2 weeks ago, Giron uploaded the level to the servers but with no completion video. While he talked down its difficulty, some have been playing the release version and now think it's way harder than it's been given credit for. With this discovery came the not too shocking revelation that Kowareta was indeed hacked, and though Giron was planning to rebeat it, his thoughts over his future continued. As a few days ago he had what he described as a mental breakdown and quit the community, claiming he wanted to kick GD but did make light of the fact that he probably wouldn't be gone for long, and as predicted a few nights ago he returned under a new alias, with some surprising Zafkill progress. He seems to be keen to shed his old reputation and brand, claiming the player we knew as Shuri is now dead. This will be interesting to see how he progresses from here moving forward, and what will happen with the extreme demons he's practicing, Kowareta especially. Let's hope he can find a balance this time, as he was one of the brightest players in terms of new people rising up with skill at one point. Crazen, the controversial but skilled first victor of Spatial Rend, has been named the official verifier of Catharsis after claiming to pick it up from an inactive Boldstep, though questions about his own future have been raised too. Boldstep was the former verifier of both of the similar upcoming massively anticipated levels, being Woodkid and Catharsis, but Catharsis being the lesser project. It was first to suffer when Boldstep began to tire of the game. The initial plan was to nerf it down to a top 20 level as opposed to its original top 5 stature, however Boldstep was quick to wash his hands of it, and Vultrix, the host, immediately sought to find a new verifier. Crazen was asked immediately and accepted, being very excited and thankful for the opportunity. He claims he's buffed it back to top 5 level and that it should take him a few weeks to verify. However, in the last few days he has announced that he's beginning to tire of the game himself, but will still finish Catharsis and will just make layouts offline in his own time until he gets the opportunity to verify similar demons. So, despite the questions over his own future, it does seem as if he is determined to bring this level forward and deliver it to the community. In the same weeks that Vultrix has unveiled the sequel he plans to exceed it in every way, we've finally seen some life and hope breathed into this flagging extreme demon. As for Crazen and his future going forward, well, that remains to be seen, but it's likely Catharsis will be finally released before we hear anything more.
Upcoming level news.
Stormfly's original Hell level to conclude Son's Hell series, the Hellfield, has now been completed and by all accounts is ready for verification. The level never had any actual gameplay built for it by the forgotten creator, but it's claimed on the various forums that were mined and interpreted by members of Stormfly's friend group that this was planned and never came to fruition. Stormfly's team have built all the gameplay and decoration themselves, and this would generally be a very unique extreme demon given its historical ties but complete originality. Let's hope Stormfly can enjoy verifying this one more than the likes of Silent Clubstep as he adds this to other projects he has alongside, such as Sakura. Giron, a former legend of 1.9, has previewed a layout on his channel, making it the first real GD related activity from him in months. The layout is claimed to be a sequel to Giron's first solo level ever, Chaotic Machine, which was released in 2.0. This layout looks very similar in structure but much harder, though not Plasma Pulse Finale difficulty or anything like that. It uses the second part of the same song the prequel used, being Chaotic by Waterflame, and overall it looks as if this will be an incredibly unique and catchy level from one of GD's Fallen Stars. Celestial Force, a highly anticipated new demon by Mindcap and Gain and Hurtley and others, now has a new verifier after that Jake dropped it as he wasn't finding it fun to verify. The new verifier is an incredibly unnoticed and underappreciated player named Dagger, who only had about 100 subs when taking on the project. He's already made a great run of 24 to 85, so hopefully he can rack up some great progress and add this to the list of great demons that are being verified incredibly quickly. Make sure you go and check out Dagger's channel and give him a sub too.
Top 50 news.
For the third week running, there is very little to report on in the top 50, less than ever today. As far as I'm aware, nothing has changed since the last episode and there haven't been any placement swaps. I expect we'll have to wait until the next podcast for any changes that might be worth talking about. They have made a rule change, however, overturning the rule that verifiers now count as completion records on the record holding list within each entry. The player stats viewer is still much the same story, very little activity and fairly consistent ordering. Scullo is now on under 1000 list points for the first time in ages as his achievements begin to be worked out the list. Kev Tom seems to be the only player still consistently building his profile, although the recent verifier of Gamma's Queen update, Technical, has started to rise up and has overtaken Sagayesta to claim 7th place, and he seems fairly active, so he'll definitely be one to watch.